On today's episode, we welcome Richard Webb, founder of 24/7 Press. Richard, welcome to this episode.
Thank you very much, Max. Thanks for having me.
So, Richard, can you walk us through your background and what got you into marketing at first?
Sure. Well, I spent 30 years in software development, mostly in software as a service companies and on the QA side. And this included some very complex and demanding environments like streaming video platforms. But my role was not just to see if it worked. As a QA person, it was to understand where it failed once real people started depending on it. And the one thing that QA teaches you very quickly is that people trust software way too much. Your job is to prove the system's wrong before customers pay the price. And to do so, you have to think like the customer. Marketing ended up just being a natural extension of that mindset. I started ranking my own WordPress websites with my books on Google side projects. No, that didn't come out well. I need to redo that part.
Oh, go ahead.
Marketing ended up just being a natural extension of that mindset. I started doing some side projects of my own WordPress and my books on Google. And I realized that marketing is really the interface between technology and human behavior. And that led me to start a digital marketing agency focused on helping small businesses connect with customers through systems that were understandable, reliable, and trustworthy.
So, what pushed you now to use AI for your business 24/7?
Well, at 24/7 Press AI Solutions, I saw AI as a real phase shift, not because it could create content faster, but because it could reduce the cost of thinking for a small business owner. It could help clarify options, pressure test ideas, and move forward with more confidence. At the same time, I saw a big failure mode almost immediately. I saw businesses starting to use AI like they used search engines and publishing generic content without really understanding what they were putting out there. Confident sounding, but empty. That's where my QA background kicked in. You don't just trust software because it sounds right. You trust it because you understand where it's wrong. So instead of letting AI make decisions, I started using it to support decisions, to ask better questions, validate assumptions, and keep humans accountable for the outcome. Because most people are using AI to shortcut judgment. I'm using it to strengthen judgment.
And what made you learn AI? How did you find out to work that into your business and to actually help people?
I just started playing with AI myself, playing with different. ChatGPT was the big one that came out first, and so I just started playing with it, and then I started creating agents with ChatGPT, and so I just learned on my own.
And when did you realize that AI was a big mover into the marketing? Because you mentioned you've been in marketing for 30 years, and I think always doing SEO. Well, what made you realize oh, this is a big, were you really into the wave, or you saw something and then you opened your eyes to it?
Well, I saw the future. I wasn't the first to see it. I follow several of the influencers out there, and it was clear to me that AI is going to take over, and I have a lot of friends in technology, and the jobs started getting replaced right away too. So, yeah, I just saw that AI was definitely going to be used in marketing. And here's the deal: when I was writing SEO content myself, and the first time, the big aha moment for me was the first time that I wrote an SEO blog post using AI, ChatGPT, and then I plugged it into my WordPress website, and using the professional version of Yoast, it synced up beautifully, all green lights. And that was a big aha moment for me, saying, oh no, where is this going? So I didn't expect it to be that accurate.
And do you, because I know sometimes people will do marketing with AI directly and they don't really prompt the AI before, and you can see a clear difference between human and AI writing. Or were you able to make sure that doesn't happen or make sure that everything looks as human, even with the AI, the way you prompt it and you configured it?
Well, when I was very proud of what one of the, I am very proud of one of the very first AI agents I wrote. And one of the things that it did was one of the agents took, typed in or copy and paste feedback on a form of the user that's using it. And so basically what it would do, it would create a style guide based on the user's input. So then the next agent would say, okay, I'm going to take that, create a style guide, or I'm going to use the style guide that the other agent created, and I'm going to write the blog post in that voice.
Hmm.
So,
So it
um,
learned from what you're writing to it.
right, exactly. Now, I mean, a lot of times you can still paste it into some AI checking tool, and it'll tell that a certain percentage is written by AI, but at least it sounded like the person who input the text. So
Hmm. That's one of the big thing you see a lot of like Facebook ads now and just ads in general. You read it and you're like that that's AI. You can directly see it. So it's kind of hard to make that separation between human and AI to make it looks like it's the same actually right now. So in the SEO, what have you seen that like change or what's the big shift that happened in the last like 2 years with AI? What was the big shift for SEO for that?
well, the biggest shift I see is that Google no longer wants people to go elsewhere for answers. It wants to be the answer. So, for example, if you searched how to train your dog to sit a few years ago, you would first see ads, then you would see organic links to people who Google considered real authorities. But today, Google often just answers the question directly in the AI overview, no click required. This changes this changes the game completely. Visibility now depends less on ranking pages and more on whether Google trusts you enough to summarize you. And
Hmm.
that trust comes from consistency, especially between your website and your Google Maps profile. Never before, I don't think, never before have those two been intertwined from Google's point of view more than they are right now. And Google looks at both together to decide if you're an authority. So SEO hasn't disappeared, but it's been absorbed into something bigger. The goal now isn't traffic, it's being understood well enough to show up into the AI answer itself.
Hmm.
In a lot of ways, SEO hasn't died. It just stopped being an optional context and became part of AI, of how AI decides what's true.
Hmm. So like how do you know like how can you optimize to be on that AI answer? Is there any kind of way to do that now since like keywords are not really like the thing for SEO anymore?
Well, when I optimize a blog post, I still use keywords, but there's also some markup text, some JSON that it's varied over times. I mean, I keep up to speed with SEO practices, and currently, right now, using markup language inside the blog post, um, which is a language that the AI overview can understand better than just the regular blog post. So that's the current thinking right now, and I'm sure it's going to change. I'll just continue to change as it changes. So
Hmm. So have you seen in the couple like since Google implemented that AI feature, have you seen traffic going down from the websites that you work with? Do you
yeah,
see
oh
a
yeah,
big
traffic
difference?
is,
Yeah.
like I said, the clicks are just not happening anymore. That I've got a restaurant that I work with in Carlsbad, California, and we're fortunate to have them well ranked enough both on Google Maps and on their website, that when you search for you search for a restaurant, a certain type of restaurant, and it's going to look in the area. And this restaurant is showing up. Google will also show the top three restaurants with the Google Maps right next to it in Chrome. And so, um, from that sense, it's it's changed the game completely. So
Hmm. And from the clicks perspective, is there like a percentage that you saw it dropped? Is there like a big 80% or like 20? Is there like a big major change?
I'm seeing like 60 to 65%, and
Okay.
that's grown
Okay.
um, as uh, as Google has changed that. And you know, it's sad. It's sad to see that because it was SEO is such a fun game to do to do when I was doing it that way. But yeah, it's dropped dramatically now.
Hmm. And like, what's the focus that business should do now to be seen on Google? Yeah, I think you just mentioned Google Map results. Could that be one of the different way that people should focus on now, or what should be that angle?
Well, if a website's traffic is going down, the shift businesses need to make towards presence at the moment decisions, not just visits. And that shows up differently depending on what type of business you are. For local businesses, that moment increasingly happens on Google Maps. Google closely, Google looks closely at the consistency between the website and your Maps profile, the services, the categories, the messaging, and it uses that combined signal to decide whether it can trust you. It also wants to see ongoing activity, not just reviews, but regular updates that show the business is active and relevant.
Hmm.
For online businesses, the same principles apply, just in a different place. Google and AI systems are looking for clear, consistent signals across your site, branded search results, and citations that tell a coherent story about who you are and what you do. Either way, the visibility is no longer about traffic. It's about being validated often enough that AI systems feel confident recommending you when it matters.
Hmm. Okay. So I guess you just have to concentrate more on traffic and not just like keywords and just being on top of the list anymore. So on your maybe on the way you think and maybe what you help businesses with, what do you think like local businesses should like think about AI or use it? Because I think you have multiple option on your website of different AI that you offers. So how would they implement that or how should they think about it?
Well, the first thing that I tell businesses is to stay disciplined and a little skeptical. AI is very confident. That doesn't mean it's right. So the mistake is letting AI decide things for you: what to post, what to promote, what to discount. The better approach is to use AI to sharpen the questions, not replace judgment. AI is incredibly useful for exploring options, surfacing trade offs, and clarifying what actually matters. But the decision still belongs to the human. AI isn't a replacement for human intelligence. It's a tool that helps focus thinking so business owners can make clearer, more intelligent decisions.
Perfect. So just by yourself, like, what do you think like they should do, and why would they implement that? Just from your head, from all the different AI that you offers to them.
Well, one of the things that I focus on is not asking AI to answer what should I do. It's more like having some context around the questions you want to ask. For example, rather than just saying, um, gee, should I raise my prices even though I might lose some customers? Rather than say that, I might add a sentence at the bottom that says, um, take into consideration that some of my fears are irrational and some are rational.
Mm,
Also take into consideration what I might be, what assumptions I might be making when I
mm,
say this, and what assumptions, sorry, and what I'm missing. So they're just questions that clarify um, the question that I want AI to answer. So, and what I'm trying to do is AI is not going to be able to take responsibility if the answer is wrong. And AI is not going to, if AI makes an assumption, it's not going to tell you that assumption's wrong. So it'll make an assumption based on what you say. So you need to ask it, what assumptions am I making here?
Mm.
And so you can clarify the decision point. But the human still has to make the decision because the human's going to be responsible.
Mhm. And so what you just have to give it more context to actually give you a proper answer because the AI is never going to give you something you don't want to hear. It's always going to go with a positive and always be like, yes, you're right. This is what you need to do. And even though it's not good, you have to do this because it just imaginate things. So that's I understand what you're saying there related to those decisions. And people will just listen to it thinking they have the actually proper response and that it's actually the best answer they can have and that they know it all because of their AI. So it's really a different mind changing for them. So what kind of like AI that actually implement into the small businesses that work for them that you tried in the past?
Well, I used AI to build our first software as a service product called TextBack AI, and one of the things that I noticed was, and along the lines of what we just talked about a bit, the assumptions it makes. It AI is so confident when it says this is what you need to do, and so I can understand why people step back and say, yeah, I can just listen to AI and I can do whatever it says. But what I found was that a lot of times I relied on AI for building that product, and it would make assumptions, um, but those assumptions may be wrong.
Hmm.
And in several cases, they were wrong, and it cost me a couple of weeks to go back and rebuild those. And so what I learned was that you need to put guardrails around AI and the assumptions that it makes. So that's what those are the type of AI products I want to build, where the human is still in control and the guardrails are around assumptions that AI makes.
And do you have example of those false assumptions that they did to you that made you lose time, basically?
Yeah, well, so I made the mistake of not building out completely some of the initial steps for text-back AI. It For example, I didn't build out an entire spec sheet of everything I wanted to build. It was all up here. I had it all into ChatGPT, but the problem is that ChatGPT doesn't remember sometimes. I went back and said, wait a minute, we cut out this function by adding this function, and this function that we cut out was paramount to the whole product in general. And it said, you know what, and if you call ChatGPT out on it, it's going to say, you know what, you're absolutely right to question that. So
Yeah, it's that's a big difference. It's like, and I experience the same. It's like sometimes it tells you to like delete stuff, and then afterwards it's like, oh, you should already have it, and you're like, it's not there anymore. Like you already did something with it, and that's not right. So it's like, you have to like move on from it. So that's a big difference between AI and like people actually, like working with people where they actually can tell you like this was wrong, this is what you did. I remember this too. So it's like it's AI is good, but it's not there yet to actually move people out of the way and just change them. So for your business, what's the big challenges that happen in the business that you created?
the challenges going forward or the challenges right now?
Forward.
Um, so the challenge right now is I'm in the process of putting together the steps to build a new software as a service, which is we're going to build a voice receptionist. And again, just like TextBack AI, I'm not looking to replace employees. TextBack AI is a service that only answers the phone and sends a text message to the user The other option is it could actually completely carry on a conversation through text with AI, only if you don't answer the phone. So, for example, if you're a hairstylist and you're cutting someone's hair, somebody calls, you can't answer that phone. So it automatically texts back to that user. But what I'm doing now is I'm building the next version of that, a new software as a service that's the receptionist AI. But my plan is to set it up so that it doesn't answer unless you can't answer, because I don't want to replace humans. I want it to augment the business so that you don't miss a call and that person just doesn't dial the next customer on Google Maps.
Mm. And have you experienced that with like customers where that bring on ROI because they didn't miss some of those clients that call, or in your case right now, texted back to make them know that they're just busy, they're gonna call them back?
Yeah, I've seen I've got several examples of customers who have booked, on the TextBack AI website. I have a return on investment calculator, and I have a quote from one dog groomer in Texas that the first week, and I offer 10 free textbacks when to start the trial. And her first week, she booked 10 additional appointments that week. So
Hmm.
it's a big return on investment.
Nice. And it's just logical to do it because people already want your service because they're calling you. So it's like, just don't miss them and you're going to be fine for that. I like that.
Right. But
So,
one of the fears that people have is, there are continual tech layoffs because of AI, and I've seen the job market change because AI is taking jobs. So my view on that is that I don't want to replace, if a customer can answer the phone, nobody's going to be able to promote their business better than they can. And so I don't want to interfere with that. So our systems are set up so that if they can't answer, it goes off and it answers it for them.
so what have been the thing going well for the business? Do you have like marketing was doing good, kind delivery? What's going well for the business?
Well, what's going well right now is our one of the things that AI has really helped with is that we can get to market faster to test things, and it doesn't take as long to get a product to market, and so you can validate whether the market wants it or not. So really happy with that. And not everything converts immediately, and that's okay. What matters at this stage is that we're shortening the feedback loop between idea implementation and reality. And that's what I call creative velocity. And it lets us converge on the right problems to solve, not just ship features, and build systems that are actually useful and durable.
Hmm. So are you more into the mindset of creating thing and then testing them with the market, or do you do the market search, you ask people around and then create something? What's your path that you prefer to do?
Well, now I can see that there are, like for example, the receptionist AI product, software as a service. We're not inventing anything there. We're just going to improve it. There are several of those out there right now. I just think we can do it better, and I think it needs to be done a little bit more carefully than what I've seen out in the market. Um, but we're not, I haven't come across anything that we're inventing that is, um, that is earth shattering. I've just seen things that I want to improve at this point.
That's great. So if you have that vision and you know you can do better, that's you have to go for it 100%. And you already have the client, you already know the demand is there. So it's like, might as well just test it.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that. So what was the big goal for the business for the next 6 to 12 months?
So in the next 6 to 12 months, the goal is focus and durability from a business standpoint. I want us to do around, I want to get to $1 million a year in revenue, not as a vanity number, but as proof that what we're building is actually fits the market and can sustain itself. On the product side, like I said, we're building the voice receptionist. Longer term, that stability gives us optionality. With a solid core, we can start selectively acquiring or integrating other AI SaaS solutions that fit our philosophy. So that's kind of where I'm going at this point.
And how far away is the 1 million annual revenue? Are you far from it? Are you close to it? Like what's
We're
that big?
pretty far from it at this point. We just started
Yeah.
in September, so we're ramping up. Um, but I see it happening this year.
Nice. That's a nice goal. It's a really nice revenue number to have. So for listeners who maybe wants to learn more about 24/7 Press or know more about you, is there anywhere they can read your things or get connect with you?
Sure, they can go to our website. It's 24-7press.com, and the company name is 24/7 Press AI Solutions. We're based out of Austin, Texas, but we're really a virtual company. And yeah, that's it. And then also on Amazon, I wrote a book called The Last Human Advantage, living in a world basically with artificial intelligence and finding our last human edge. So,
Sounds interesting. So thank you, Richard, for the conversation. I really appreciate it.
all right, thank you very much.
Thank you.